You already saw the title of the video, so let's just get right into it.
Making her thoughts.
Making her thoughts.
Making her
Making her
thoughts.
thoughts. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Or welcome if you're new. I'm Nikki, and I talk about the Barbie movies in chronological order.
Today is all about Barbie and the Magic of Pegasus. We begin the film with the castle. The queen goes to see her daughter Annika and brings her a present for her birthday, but she is missing. So the worried mother sends out the guards to find her. This is apparently a pattern, as her father is just like, again? Now we actually get to see Annika. She is outside skating. A tiny, adorable little polar bear cub sees Annika and is fascinated with her skating, so she tries to get a closer look but ends up on the ice and clashes with the princess. Thankfully, nobody got hurt, but the bear did end up in the snow and is apparently cold? For that reason, Annika calls her Shiver. Now, Annika returns home from her leisurely time with a new friend. Her parents warn her of the dangers of being outside alone, but she doesn't agree with them. She believes her parents are being too overprotective, treating her as if she's a child. And if you're wondering what their thoughts were on the bear in the palace, they thought she was cute initially, which look at that face. But yeah, then reality hits, scared it would attack or get them sick. Nonetheless, Annika keeps Shiver, but for her shenanigans, her parents ground her, and she has to stay in her room. Annika is obviously mad and is like, you know what? It's my birthday. I'm gonna do whatever I want. So she grabs her skates and goes out in town. This is when the villain tags along. Wenlock, an evil, powerful sorcerer. He proposes to Annika, and obviously she refuses. Annika's parents come to protect their daughter and try to send Wenlock away, saying he already has a wife. And the guy has the audacity to correct him and say, I had three. But essentially, he got bored and needed a new one, warning the king and the queen of what happened to their other daughter. Excuse me? Annika, like the rest of us, is in a state of shock at that statement. But neither of us have enough time to register anything because Wenlock turns everyone to stone and gives Annika 3 days to accept his proposal, otherwise everyone remains stone. A flying horse comes to rescue Annika and takes her to the Cloud Kingdom where she can take refuge. And if you're wondering why the horse saves Annika, plot twist! The horse is her long-lost sister, Brietta. A while ago on Brietta's birthday, Wenlock came to propose to her, just as he did to her younger sister just now. He was refused back then too, and as punishment he turned Brietta into a Pegasus. Brietta couldn't bear to see her parents so distraught, so she moved into the Cloud Kingdom. After Annika was born, her parents moved far away so their castle would be isolated to protect her from the fate of her older sister. This is when Annika realizes her parents weren't being paranoid and that they had genuine reason to be scared. Still, that fear may have made them keep the past a secret from Annika, which led to the events of the movie we are currently discussing. Wenlock's power is believed to be the strongest there is, but there may be something stronger, the Wand of Light. Brietta had been searching for it but couldn't find it, so she's sure it's just a myth, unlike her sister who is now determined to find the wand. The thing is, the wand cannot be found, but made. From a measure of courage, a ring of love, and a gem of ice lit by hope's eternal flame. Before leaving, the Cloud Queen gives Brietta a necklace with a bell to ring if she ever needs help. Their journey to get the Wand of Light begins in the Forbidden Forest. Shiver goes down a slide, and when Brietta and Annika try to get her back, they get stuck in a trap set up by this guy, Aiden. It's love interest time! Annika and Aiden have some of the best banter there ever was. When he finds out Annika and Brietta are sisters, he's like, oh, I see the resemblance. And when Shiver is brought up, he's like, let me guess, you're a cousin. Aiden frees them and Annika then goes after Shiver. They end up in the house of an ogre who wants to eat them, but Annika comes up with a plan. She notices the ogre is very proud and uses that as an advantage. So she has him prove his strength by tying himself with a chain and challenging him to get out with no help. This gives Annika and Shiver enough time to escape the pot they were thrown in using a ribbon from her hair. When they return, they already have found the first object to create the Wand of Light, a measure of courage. The ribbon was the exact height that Annika is, and it turns into a scepter. Aiden is skeptical and doesn't wish to tag along, but Annika says she needs a second chance to save her kingdom, and make things right again. This stops Aiden from his path and he decides to help. Keep this in mind because this will be important later. The team get a map from a con man to get them to the Gem of Ice. They find a cave where the gem is along with many other jewels, but there is a catch. You are only allowed to take as much as you need, not want. Annika gets a gem and Aiden reaches to get one too, which scares the princess thinking he is being greedy, but to her surprise, nothing happens. The team goes into a different cave for refuge where they make a fire to warm up. Annika does ask Aiden about the gem since he must have needed it. It's backstory time! Aiden was a gambler. One day he took his parents' savings and lost them all. Ashamed to go back home, he left and started making swords to sell for money. His hope was to earn back all that he'd lost, and of course, a gem like that could bring him the money he needed. All he wanted was a second chance, which is why Annika needing a second chance was what made him come and help. He knew what it meant to screw up and wanting to fix things. Aiden was ready to use the metal from his own sword to construct the ring, but Brietta gives up her tiara as a way to repay her parents. For this, the tiara is revealed to be the ring of love since Brietta's actions come from a place of love. Aiden spends the whole night putting all three objects together to create the Wand of Light. Annika uses it to turn her sister back into a human by asking the wand from the bottom of her heart that the spell be broken, and it works! Now they can't fly anymore since Brietta's a human, so she uses the bell from the Cloud Queen to ask for horses. Annika believes Aiden wants to leave now since they have the Wand of Light. It feels like Aiden doesn't want to leave, but he does anyway. Now, Brietta, Annika, and Shiver are on their way to Wenlock's castle, but it seems he beat them to it and cast a spell making them fall off their horses. Nobody is injured, but they have to face Wenlock sooner than they had expected. Annika tries to use the wand like before, asking it to destroy Wenlock, but it doesn't work. Since he has an advantage, he steals the wand and creates an avalanche to trap Annika under it. Aiden was actually around there, and as soon as he hears that Annika is in danger, he begins to dig under the snow to get her out. The team goes back to the Cloud Kingdom where Aiden waits by her bed until she wakes up. Fortunately, she is fine and ready to go fight Wenlock again. It's already the third day, so they have to move fast. These girls here control the sunrise and sunsets, so their goal is to delay the sunset as much as possible to give Annika more time. Wenlock can't figure out what to do with the wand since it doesn't seem to do anything, so he just tosses it as trash. Annika, Aiden, and Shiver sneak into the castle. Aiden falls off a griffin but ends up falling and is hanging on the edge of a cliff. Annika finds the wand, but the gem falls. So Aiden uses the gem he'd gotten before as a replacement. Wenlock grabs the wand using magic before she gets the chance to use it, but one of Wenlock's ex-wives, who are now his slaves, catches it mid-air and throws it back to Annika. She realized that the wand only works with love, not hatred. That's why it didn't work before. This time, she wishes that all of Wenlock's spells be broken and that all those who were affected by them be freed. The wand's magic is so powerful that it even takes out Wenlock Scepter's own magic, making him nothing but a regular man. The team returns to the palace where the king and the queen are at last reunited with their daughter. Aiden also goes back home to apologize for his mistake. Instead of disowning him as Aiden thought they would, he is welcomed home with open arms by his parents who simply wish their son was safe. The Cloud Queen keeps the Wand of Light and says it will be the first star to appear on the night sky. And everyone lives happily ever after. This film, in my opinion, is one of the best along with Barbie as Rapunzel. It's one where characters have the most depth and the symbolism throughout is gorgeous. Let's analyze to better understand what I'm trying to say. Annika. Annika is one of the Barbie characters that evolves as the story progresses, like Clara and Odette. She starts out as a rebellious princess who later understands why her parents acted the way they did and does everything in her power to fix her mistakes. It is likely Wenlock would have come for Annika no matter where she was, but she feels responsible for the chaos because she went out when she was supposed to stay inside. Aiden. Aiden has his own backstory and an arc we get to see play out throughout the film. He used to be a gambler who lost all his parents' money. Ashamed of himself, he runs away from home and tries to earn back the money by becoming a swordsmith. He is initially cold and a bit selfish, but his journey with Annika changes him. But this happens later than you might expect. He doesn't help the trio because he knows they need it, but rather because he got hope for himself when Annika said she wanted a second chance. We only begin to see him opening up when he is ready to use his own sword for the wand. Then he even stops from his path to save Annika from the avalanche, stays with her until she wakes up, and risks his very life to help her. Aiden's development is clear, stable, and most of all, realistic. Symbolism. The wand of light is made of a measure of courage, a ring of love, and a gem of ice lit by hope's eternal flame. All these three components are symbolic by themselves. Annika proved courage when going to save Shiver. A ring is a circle, a shape which is considered to be perfect, but it also represents a cycle, so love which knows no end. Ice is of course cold, but it is kept alive by a flame of hope. Even when you are left with no solutions, when things seem cold, hope is what saves you, what keeps you warm. Finally, the wand is said to be the first star that appears on the night sky. The first star isn't actually a star, but a planet. Venus, to be more specific. In Roman mythology, the goddess Venus represented love. As we learned, the wand only works with what? Yes, with love! The writers are absolute geniuses for coming up with this. The outtakes. Like Barbie as the Princess and the Pauper, this film has bloopers. Well, they're scripted for animation, but they're meant to look like these characters we see on screen are actors. There are some really funny parts too, like an ogre trying to make his character smarter, but he has to say something like, "Only like onion," and he's like, 15 years of theater for this. This is just one of the great examples, but also proof of the dedication behind these films. Sure, they were partly made to sell dolls and they were straight to DVD, but I don't believe that should be a reason to overlook them. This is why I'm here, to let the world know of these amazing films and hopefully have them gain better recognition. This is it for this video. If you liked it, there are more on my channel just like this one. If there are any topics regarding the Barbie movies you would like me to cover, let me know in the comments, and make sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified of my new videos. Next time we are discussing Barbie Diaries. Until then, bye!